So in this video we're going to take a look at Ravenscroft 275. This is a piano virtual instrument, fully sampled, and it's really high quality piano for iOS. Also supports audio units, so you can use this straight in your favourite DAW such as Cubasis or GarageBand or Audio Pro. And this video, what we're going to do really is look at the different sounds, what it can do, how you can customize your own sounds and save presets, and just explore what the options are. So if you've got this already, it's going to be a bit of a tutorial, and if you haven't got it, it'll give you a chance to find a bit more about the app and see if it's worth getting. I think it's about £30 or £35, so it's quite it's relatively expensive. I say relatively because £35 for a piano app of this quality on a computer, no one would think twice about buying, because that's a really good deal. But on the iPad, somehow that's different, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to rant, but I think it's really good value for money. So we're going to take a look at this app. It comes with about 10 presets. We're going to go through those presets now so you can hear the different sounds. I'll talk you through them. Then I'll talk about how you can make your own presets. You can see I've made a few at the bottom there. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about a download. You can download my presets for free if you click the link in the description below, but I'll tell you a little bit about that towards the end of the video. So let's go through each of the sounds. The first one is a classic piano, which is what you heard me playing just now, and it's a fairly dry piano, relatively warm tone. So I just did that at the end just so you get an idea of the velocity range. It's got quite a range of tone there. So it's really responsive. Now, this is different to a lot of piano instruments that you get for the iPad, in so much as it's got sympathetic resonance, which means that it's the way, well, how can I put it? When you play an actual piano, you press a key, a hammer hits some strings, usually 3 strings, and you'll hear the sound of those strings. But what you also hear, and what often isn't sampled on piano virtual instruments, is the fact that the other strings around it will resonate as well. That's why you get such a unique tone, and that's why a lot of virtual instrument pianos just don't sound very good, but this actually has all that built in. And another thing which I'll just show you before we look at the rest of the presets is if I press the sustain pedal only, you'll hear a sound. It's probably clear if you use headphones. So they've actually recorded, when you use the sustain pedal, you can actually hear the sound of a sustain pedal like you would on the piano. So there's a lot they've put into here which makes it sound quite realistic. Anyway, that's the classic piano preset. Let's look at concert. This is a little brighter and has a little bit more reverb on it. Next one we have is pop, which sounds a little bit, it's quite a close sound, not so much on the reverb. of jazz. You'll hear it. And then we get to some of our more creative pianos. Prometheus, which has a quite distant sound, quite a lot of reverb. The next one is Croyance, which is fairly similar. There seems to be a bit more reverb on this one. Mona Lisa. So this one has, you'll notice the timbre under the equalizer, which we'll come to in a moment. That's kind of turned back the other way, so it kind of gives it a slightly muffled sound. It's less bright than the others. Then we've got Devotion. So a little bit brighter than Mona Lisa, still quite a lot of reverb. Then we've got Electric CP. This sounds nothing like an electric CP. So it loses quite a lot of its richness is quite a tinny sound. Yeah, not very nice. Well, I don't know. It could be. It's a creative sound. It's not something that I'll use very much. And then finally, we got this one. Canon. Yeah, I'll let you guess at the pronunciation. So this is what this one sounds like. It's kind of weird. Very tinny. A bit of reverb. So yeah, there's some interesting presets for you to use, and there's a lot to just kind of turn on and just start playing, which is really good, really quick to get going with this app. Now, let's talk about how you might build some presets. So this is how you do it. I'm just going to select the classic preset just for now. From this, we're going to start building our own instruments. The first section where you can change is equalizer, and under there we can change the timbre. So I'll adjust the dial and you'll hear the difference. So a low timbre gives it this kind of dull sound. Whereas this would give it so I'm going to put it somewhere down there. And then we've got our EQ, so highs, mids and lows. So you can hear the difference there. And then we've got reverb. So we've got three controls for this. We've got the room size, which obviously simulates a larger room. You can hear slightly more depth to that. But as you change the other dials, it becomes more apparent. So the decay, how long the reverb trail is going to be. So you can hear that goes on for quite some time. Or no decay. So let's put it somewhere over there. And then you've got the mix, which is how much of the dry piano you can hear and how much of the reverb you can hear. So it's kind of a balancing act. So if I put it all the way here and turn all of these up, the sound loses a lot of its attack, which creates a really cool sound. You're into creating lots of ambient music. So it's really interesting. I'm not going to use that much. The final dial for you to change is velocity, and that is how much of a range of velocity there is. So what I mean by that is if I tap the notes very gently, the notes are very quiet, and if I tap them very loud, the notes are very loud, okay? But if you reduce the velocity amount to 0, we'll take it to the extreme so you can hear the difference. There's no difference in volume, no matter how hard I hit the keyboard. There's still a tonal difference. you can create some interesting effects with the velocity. So if you've created that preset, that's something you want to save. In the top, just next to the volume slider, you've got the save button. From there, you can give it a name, hit save, and it'll be listed under your presets. It says user presets, yours will be listed under there just like mine are. Let's have a look to finish off looking at some of the settings you can do or you can change. So under options, we have global tuning. So if you're playing with something that can't play at the normal tuning, you can adjust it. So if you're playing, doing a duet with a very old upright piano that can't reach normal tuning, then you can detune your own instrument to get there. And we can just reset that. Under MIDI and audio, you can turn on background audio so you can come out of this app and still hear the music you're playing. You can receive MIDI events. And if we go to audio MIDI preferences, from here, you can send it to specific devices, external sound cards and whatnot. You can use MIDI, choose what MIDI instrument you want, and you can also use Bluetooth MIDI, which is how I'm playing it through here. And that's what you can do. So they're the settings you can change. The one downside is if you're not a fan of that sustain pedal and you want to turn that off, I haven't figured out how. There might be a way, I'm not sure. Anyway, one last thing, if you want to play piano using the on-screen keyboard, there's a few options for you there. You can unlock to slide around, or you can set up a split. So you could have bass or left hand and right hand, if that's what you want to do. Can't imagine many people doing that, but it's a good visual reference, I suppose, to see what's being played. That's pretty much it. What I will say is those user presets I've got down there, there's some really interesting sounds I've created. I'm going to make those available for download. If you click the link in the description below, you'll be able to get to those files along with an explanation about how to import them into Ravenscroft 275. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to do it just using the iPad, so you are going to have to hook your iPad up to iTunes to get it across. And then if I figure out a different way, obviously I'll update that web page that you'll go to. Anyway, that's the demonstration and I suppose a little bit of a tutorial of the Ravenscroft 275 piano. It sounds amazing. It's a lot for a usual iPad app, but considering it's got the audio unit capabilities and how good it sounds, I definitely think it's worth the money. Hopefully that's given you a flavour of what you can do with it. And yeah, if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you want. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back soon with some more iOS music fun.